Hey everybody, welcome to the Ron Line Report. Got a great guest today. You know, the United Kingdom has given us some amazing bodybuilders. Of course, we had six-time Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates. We've got Flex Lewis, the reigning 212 world champion. I believe he has 6 also. It was quiet for a while, but the last year or two, we've had some amazing talent. We've had Nathan DeAsha, Rosie Rascal Hart, Ricardo Correa, and now this man, the 2016 overall British champion, Luke Sandoe, joining us.
Hey, Ron.
Thanks for being here, Luke.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a big honor. I'm a big fan of MD and I'm a big follower of your work, so thank you.
Full disclosure, everybody, we did this interview 5 days ago, and I'm a tech moron, and the program I use is all glitchy, but Luke is a sport, and he's doing it again for us, so thank you so much, Luke.
Oh, no, thank you for having me twice. This is the sequel, but nobody knows. The first one was a bit more raw and uncut.
Yeah, that was a dress rehearsal.
Yeah, this is the PG-13 one.
So, you know, I'm from New England, Boston, and all our cities are named after cities in the UK. So every time I hear where somebody's from the UK, I go, oh yeah, that's over in New Hampshire, that's in Massachusetts, that's in Rhode Island. You're from some place called Bournemouth. Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Which is actually next to the county of Hampshire.
Okay. See, there you go.
Which we don't call it New Hampshire, it's just Hampshire. So,
yeah, well, we had to put new in front of everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your upbringing as a kid. What were you interested in? What were some of the things that occupied your time?
Honestly, mostly skateboarding, music, comic books, movies. I was a bit of a geek as a kid, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I say I was. I kind of still am. So yeah, I was never really into sports. I played a little bit of football, which you guys call soccer. Yeah, mostly just everything that the geeks do. Really, that was me. I was even in the chess club at school.
Chess club?
Yeah.
You know, I tried out for that, and the coach said, "Put 20 pounds on and try again next year." Yeah, terrible. So I know you were a drummer for many years. How did you first get interested in all that?
I don't really know how I got interested. I actually remember being quite young, and one of my mum's friend's son, he was a few years older than me, he had a drum kit in his bedroom, and I just saw it, and I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I actually watched him play it, and I sat behind him, watched him, and then I sat down on the kit myself. I could actually barely reach the pedals, but I could pretty much play a beat straight away.
Wow.
And then my mum was like, absolutely not, you're not playing drums. Play with the recorder or something, play something quiet, play the piano.
Yeah.
Wasn't interested in anything else. And then as soon as I got to secondary school, which I guess is high school for you, the school offered drum lessons. So my mum was finally got sick of me asking her every day for like 10 years, and then thought, okay, fine, you can play drums. And then that was it, got hooked, and then I just pursued it pretty hard for about 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And I ended up in the latter years actually played it professionally. That's what I did for a job. So.
Wow. I mean, not many musicians ever make a living playing music. So props to you.
I say I was making a living. It was.
Well, you're getting paid. You're getting paid at least occasionally.
Yeah, I managed to scrape by, and I lived with 3 other guys, and we were in a band together. We lived in central London, and it was probably one of the coolest couple of years of my life, to be honest. It was good fun.
So what kind of music did you play?
Well, it's not really the type of music I listen to. In fact, none of us really listen to that kind of music. It was kind of like, it's hard to describe because it's very dark, big sounding British rock. You know, like imagine Kings of Leon / Muse, something like that, but darker.
Okay. So who were some of the influences? Because I know this is off topic, but a lot of us love music and we follow who were some of the drummers that really influenced your style or that you looked up to?
It was primarily rock drummers, really. John Bonham, John Bonham, Dave Grohl, Travis Barker I used to listen to Blink-182 a lot as growing up as an early teen. They were my favorite, actually still one of my favorite bands today.
Yeah.
He's technically very proficient, so he was somebody I emulated a lot. And he's a lot of drummers don't like him, but he's very, very diverse, and and I always just, you listen to Dave Grohl playing the drums, you can tell it's him.
Yeah.
Even if you listen to a Tenacious D album, he plays drums on it, you can tell it's him. Even if you listen to something that Travis Barker's guest drummed on, you can just tell it's him.
Yeah.
And I like the drummers who have a voice, you just tell it's them. Rather than just playing what's good for the song, they add something to the song. And that's why I always try to emulate myself.
Well, you clearly have a real ear for drummers, because I can't identify drummers by their playing. Guitar players, I can do that most of the time with.
Yeah. Do you play guitar? So
no, I don't. But I'm saying, if I hear a Slash playing in a song, I go, okay, that's Slash.
Yeah, because like most drummers all have their own sort of style. A lot of people say that Ringo Starr had his own sort of sloppy but tight style. Right. And like, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Beatles really. So yeah, weirdly, I think the main reason being is, which people find quite a bit of a shock because I guess I'm a music fan. Yeah. I think it's a bit ruined for me now because everyone who's come since the Beatles sounds like the Beatles. So when I listen to the Beatles, it just sounds pretty normal to me because but they were the first, so I have to sort of appreciate that.
Yeah, interesting. So how does all that, and also comics? When did you first start getting into comics? How young do you think you were?
I was pretty young. I think every kid wants to be Spider-Man or the Incredible Hulk or Superman, you know. Yeah. My mum used to buy me, the occasional comic. They were pretty hard to come by back then. They're a lot easier to get now. But luckily, there's a local shop on the corner of our road that sold X-Men and Spider-Man, and just to pick me up those. And then I got a little bit older, and then I rented Watchmen from a library. I was probably 11, maybe 12, and read it, and I was like blown away because I didn't realize that. I thought comics are superheroes, and then you read Watchmen, it's really dark, and then I read The Dark Knight Returns, and I sort of opened up this whole world of storytelling and comics for me. And at this point in time, there were no big comic book movies apart from Blade and some shitty old films. It's pretty good.
Now it's every other movie is based on a comic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a world we live in now. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine what I'd be like at sort of 10 years old watching, the Avengers. I mean, my son goes crazy when he loves it all as well.
Which superhero movies do you like the best? Which ones do you think are the best? Which series or franchise?
I don't really have a particular favorite. I mean, I'm in terms of comic books, I prefer DC comics over Marvel. Yeah. But their films have been a little bit weak. But I loved Man of Steel. I did really like Batman, Superman. Justice League was a bit shit, to be honest. But I think I like a lot of the more indie ones. Like Dread is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, if it's good, it's good.
Right. So was that your first exposure to muscular physiques? Was the comics and the way that the characters were drawn?
Yeah. And it was actually the superheroes' power set as well. So what if their powers were, if they were super strong as well? That was a big, you had to be big and strong. It was a big draw to me. So.
Yeah. So I know from our dress rehearsal interview that you were never a skinny, slender little waif of a child. You started exercising. You were already about, what did you say, 200, 210 pounds, something?
I was like 200 pounds without training. Yeah, I mean I wasn't too lean, but yeah, when I was at college, I didn't train at all, and I played the drums, and I used to skateboard as a kid, a lot, and I've always had quite big arms and calves. So, and people just used to, actually my nickname at college was Brick Shithouse. I didn't train at all, and I was just and then when I started taking the music more seriously, we started having to do photo shoots and things. And I was like, oh, everyone's really skinny. So I tried to get as skinny as possible, so I would look the same. And I just ate carrots and tuna and did loads of. And I just lost fat and stayed big. I just got really, really lean and just kept muscle. So
that was a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So that's when you really started. You started training. You started working out, basically not to be a bodybuilder, but just to kind of get some abs and get in shape, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did it for fitness because obviously playing shows most nights is quite physically demanding. I used to take my top off a lot when I played, and that wasn't a vanity reason. It was just because I was pouring sweat, and I thought if I'm going to take my top off, I can't be a fat shit. So, I used to do that, and then when I started training, I had no interest in sort of bodybuilding as such. It was more I just wanted to look pretty good. And be fit and healthy, but I wanted to be strong. I was quite drawn to powerlifting. I was pretty strong, actually. The first time I ever deadlifted, I pulled 405.
Wow!
I ever tried. I just picked it up.
That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to repeat that, everybody. The first time he ever deadlifted, he pulled 405. So take that to the bank, everybody. Yeah, just to back up a second, I've noticed if a band ever has one guy in the band with a shirt off, it's always the drummer. Travis Barker always had his shirt off. Tommy Lee and Motley Crue always had his shirt off. I think that's the most physically demanding part of the band is the drumming.
Well, this is what everyone forgets. Like when you're on tour, I had to set my drums up every night. That would take about an hour. Yeah. And all the guitarists do, they just plug it in, go and have a beer, and I'm there sweating to death, building a whole drum set, like getting my notes out, making sure I've got everything. Yeah. So I mean, being a drummer is way harder. Okay. It's not a real instrument, but it is the hardest, and it is the coolest. And then
who says it's not a real instrument?
Well, it isn't. You can't play a tune, can you?
Well, I guess. I mean, I could listen to drum solos. I used to go to Rush concerts and listen to Neil Peart go for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah, Neil Peart's the man.
I always thought he was. So, funny, I want you to tell the funny story of how you basically became a bodybuilder because your mom went out and got you the wrong magazine at the store.
Yeah. So going back to how I sort of wanted to look, I had no idea about nutrition or how you had to eat. I was basically starving myself. So I used to buy like the men's health magazines, men's fitness. I think I got really hardcore at one point and bought a Muscle and Fitness.
Oh, boy.
It's really hardcore. So that sort of taught me the basics of how a training split and a rough diet outline. It was pretty good. It was like there's some easy things to follow in there. There's a bit of inspiration. Let's get all the pictures and things. And I said to my mum one day, I was like, "Can you just grab me one because I haven't got time?" And she picked up a Flex magazine, and it had Johnny Jackson on the cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I must have read. I mean, at first I was like, "This is gross." And then I must have read that magazine 100 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was it. You said I look like one of these guys.
Not at first. I think my mum was like, because my mum was like, "What? This is disgusting. Why would anyone look like that?" And she pretty much still says that to me now. But yeah, because I mean, obviously, I'd only read comic books. I didn't know people could actually look like that.
Right.
I mean, everyone grows up with Arnold and even some others like Sylvester Stallone, but they're not. I mean, Arnold, as impressive as he was in the movies, he wasn't quite the competitive Arnold, and he wasn't Johnny Jackson on the cover of Flex magazine. So when I saw that, I didn't realize a person could look like this.
Right.
So it was like a whole, like, you can actually do this. So that was another thing.
So how long did it take you to go out and join a real gym and start learning everything?
I think I actually joined a gym in London. It was actually Muscleworks gym.
Muscleworks.
Yeah, that was one of my first proper gyms. I only trained there like twice a week.
Wow.
I was pretty intimidated, but the owner was cool. It was actually Muscleworks 2. So it wasn't the original one. It was the other one, which is in Stoke Newington, in London. And that was and I used to do my cardio and train in there just to keep in shape. And then so there I saw bodybuilders in there as well, and I sort of got more and more drawn into this. And when the music started fading out around sort of when I was about 21, 22, I was like, I want to pursue this. Which is stupid, really. Think about it. Yeah. Like I was 21, 22, and I was like, I want to be a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah. You didn't know how difficult that was going to.
I had absolutely no idea. I had no idea because I found it came quite naturally to me in terms of the physicality, and I never had issues locking into a diet or sticking to my training. It just became part of my life very quickly.
Yeah. So
I thought I'd do this for fun, so I may as well compete. And I always had it in the back of my mind. And then, so maybe 22 is when I started training to be a bodybuilder.
So, because by 23 years old, you entered and won your first show.
Yes.
Within a year of training.
Yeah. Wow. So that was UKBFF South Coast in England, and I won the junior class. Yeah. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I did the prep myself. I started that prep really, really out of shape because I was like, my diet, trying to put on as much muscle as possible, was just ridiculous. I mean, nobody needs that much food. I remember even for breakfast, every day I get my blender, I'd mix 10 eggs, scoop of whey, like 2 or 3 cups of oats, 3 tablespoons of peanut butter, some dark chocolate, honey, and half a tin of like rice pudding, which I thought was cream of rice, but it's actually just a pudding.
Yeah.
And Greek yogurt, and I'd blend this all up and it'd be like thick, and I'd have that every morning. It must have been like at least 2,000 calories in this thing.
Wow. You were prepping on that?
No, this was when I was trying to get muscle.
We trying to bulk. Okay.
Yeah, and then like every meal I'd eat 5 meals a day, which would be a ton of pasta, loads of olive oil with chicken and cheese and grated on the top. And I just used to eat that, and I think I got up to about 260, 270 pounds, but I was fat.
Still.
I mean, it wasn't a good look.
But that was, so you say like in the first year of training, you put on, even though it wasn't all muscle, you put on a good 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've actually got I think on my Facebook somewhere. I might have to dig it out and post it. I had my first ever selfie. I thought this is like, so when I decided to do a show, so exactly a year before. It's all dated on Facebook, so nobody can accuse me of lying. But this is me now. I took a picture.
Yeah.
And I took a few more pictures of me turning into a fat fuck. and then it was my prep, and then I did a whole year transformation, and it's quite a lot of muscle in the end.
Yeah.
It must have been at least 25, 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even at that point, I mean, in that point, within the first year of training, I deadlifted 7 plates.
Wow.
I did that on Christmas Eve, because my gym owner bought pizza. I'd do a plate, go and eat a slice of pizza, come back, add another plate, do another couple of reps, and I got up to 7 plates, and that video is on my Facebook as well.
So, I have to ask, you obviously you went the bodybuilding route, but had you decided you wanted to be a power lifter, how good do you think you could have been at that?
My squat would have been pretty good. My bench would have been pretty poor, to be honest. I'm not a very good flat presser. Although I'm quite strong for a bodybuilder, I just can't bench press, and I had a pec injury. I pressed 5 plates before. It's not comfortable. Deadlift is fine. It's a nice, because I'm not very tall.
Right.
So it's quite a nice lift for me, but yeah, it's as soon as the muscle started coming with the training, it drew me to that a lot more than the strength. But I've always used the powerlifting sort of DC training, progressive overload. I've always used that as the crux of my training. I've always used that as my as my training, really.
Yeah, well, let's talk about DC for a second, because it's a very popular training method. It's been around now for, I want to say, about 15 years. Obviously, Dave Henry's probably the most famous guy that's followed it long term. Mark Dugdale was doing it for a while. On the MD board, we got a guy named Big Oso, big super heavyweight that's fit into it. I did it for a good 2.5 years myself, and I love the aspect that it had that logbook, and you knew exactly whether or not you had a good workout or not, because either you beat your numbers that you had set out for yourself from last time or you didn't.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite part of DC?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think it is designed for advanced trainers, and I wasn't particularly advanced when I started it, but it still worked because I just had it in my head. I knew how to train. I could sort of tap into that intensity straight away. I didn't have to. A lot of people have to learn that, and I think what happened was, going back to when my mum bought me that Flex magazine, there's a little pamphlet inside, a Dorian Yates little training pamphlet. I might still have it somewhere. And it was all about his method of training. And he was obviously big on progressive overload, so I sort of emulated that. And when I started Googling it, the whole DC training came up, and I found like the whole cycles for pennies. I found a whole blogspot thing where all of Dante's posts had been put up on a... So I started designing my own training around that. And it did work massively. I think I did it for about 4 years.
Wow.
And then it's only been the last couple of years where I've sort of just expanded. My principles are still the same, but I've just chucked traditional bodybuilding in the mix as well and sort of built out from there. And then I joined Intense Muscle. I never posted on it, ever. I just read. And that was where I actually found Justin Harris.
Oh, yeah.
And I worked with Justin from just after the British in 2015, the whole year into winning my pro card.
Wow. Justin, Troponin Nutrition. Some people might know him better by that name. Troponin.
Yeah, so Justin was, and I watched all his YouTube videos with Steve Kukla, and I bought his DVD, and I still am a big fan. I mean, I'm pretty fortunate enough to call Justin a friend now. So he was a massive influence, and then he sort of disappeared, and then I saw his name crop up on Facebook, and I added him. And then I found out somebody I knew he was doing his diet, and I thought, Justin's doing diets again. Right, so I contacted him and said, look, I need to get better. Can we work together? And he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. Because because I wanted to work with a coach that I thought he knows what I'm going to do in the gym. He knows a lot of our ideals like mesh together perfectly.
Yeah.
So so we went from coming 6th place in the super heavyweights to winning the class and the overall in 1 year.
Wow.
So,
just to remind everyone, Justin was the guy that took a young Steve Kuklo, started training with him back in Michigan years ago, and I think training together, he put about 40 pounds of muscle on that kid in a year or two.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Backing up to your first show, so the first year you competed, you won that local show. Did you also end up going to the British that year because you qualified?
Yeah, so I qualified as a junior, and I was 23. So the show was in April. Yeah. British finals were in October, and I turned 24 in August. So I actually had to do a men's class for the finals. So I went into the men's, and I got second place.
Wow. And it was a heavyweight or super heavies?
It was actually the intermediates over 90, but I would have been a super heavyweight. So
I mean, here you are. You just really started seriously training a year before that or so, right?
Yeah, so at that point, about 18 months of serious training, yeah.
So, I mean, this sounds a lot like Dorian's story. It's a very, very similar story where he'd been training, I think, around that amount of time when he won his first show. And then they threw him into the IFBB World Games because they said he was the best amateur heavyweight that UK had. So here you are, 23 years old, or 24, just turned, barely been training, not even 2 years, and you're already one of the top amateurs in the entire UK, a nation of about 70 million people or so?
Yeah.
So, I mean, did that give you an idea that you really had a future in this? Is this something you could pursue?
Yeah, actually, when I did the first show, I had such a huge response. I mean, everyone was like, "You're soft as butter, but you sort that out. You do really well. You could do really well." And I know a lot of people said, you could be pro in in a few years. Like you could be really something. Keep at it. And like, I had no expectations going into the first show. I thought I'd be the smallest. I didn't expect to place. I had no idea what I was doing. So that filled me with a lot of confidence, and I learned a lot about dieting in that stage as well. Yeah. So I hooked up with a British coach for the next show. I thought, I don't really know what I'm doing myself. I've learned some things. If I'm really going to step it up, I need to hire someone. So I started working with Nathan Harmon, he's a very revered UK coach. Yeah. And I worked with him for that show. And I was actually exactly the same weight, but actually in shape. And I got the second place, and a lot of people, I personally don't, but a lot of people had me winning. So apparently a couple of the judges' feedback was my posing was shocking, so I have no idea what I was doing.
Shocking in a bad way, not a good way.
And my tan wasn't dark enough. Yeah. So had my presentation been better, I may have scraped that first place. I still don't think I should have. I think the guy beat me was better. But yeah, and that reinforced it in my head as well. And I thought, I'm going to keep going at this.
And that was 2012, right?
Yes.
So 4 years later, you're standing on that stage. You're the overall champ.
Yeah.
And that's when I first heard about you because Giles was posting some pictures. And I believe he was at the show. I think he goes to every British finals, obviously. And I was impressed. So then I see you in March at the Arnold.
Yep.
And when you walked out, I'm like, that's not. And I had even been watching you on your Instagram and everything, following your prep, and you were in really good condition. But then when you walked out at the Arnold, not so much. So what happened at that show?
I don't think anything. I don't think anything particularly happened. I think it was more. I just done a whole year preparing for the British. I wanted to shut it down for a good 6 months. Have an off season, and then I was super fortunate enough to get the Arnold invite because I got contacted by Ed Connors, who I'm extremely grateful for his help. And he contacted the guys at the Arnold and said, "Look, Luke's just won the British. I think he's got a lot of talent. You should have him in the show." And then I got the invite. You do not turn down the Arnold Classic. Yeah. And the prep was okay. I actually was in shape pretty early, and I started to fade a lot the last few weeks. It may have just been because you only have so many months you can string together of dieting before your body says just stop. So I think
it's for you.
Yeah. So the last 4 or 5 weeks I did fade quite a lot. I just got a little bit smaller and softer, and I thought, I'm just flat. I'll fill out. I'll be fine. I flew in way too late. I think I flew in on like the Thursday or the Wednesday.
Wow.
Which was too late. I didn't know. I'd never travelled before. I thought, 3 days would be enough. Wasn't. Justin was there, and as soon as I started eating, I just put on. I landed. I think I was about 252 when I landed. Really flat, relatively good shape. Still not where I should have been, but I was bigger, so that was good. and I was 273 the night before.
21 pounds.
Yeah.
Holy moly. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Luke, all he cares about is size. He needs to stop carving up so hard.
Yeah.
But anyone who knows Justin's methods, we did he tracks your blood sugar the whole way through to check you're not eating too much. Yeah. And I just blew up. I don't know whether it was just because my body was super tired, didn't know what to do with it. I don't know whether it was the flight and hadn't like acclimated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but it was terrible.
I mean, to your credit, you had a really good look, structure, shape,
yeah,
real nice round fullness to the muscles.
Yeah.
I was just saying, my God, if this guy was in shape today, woo.
Yeah, I was big. Yeah, I was big. My legs were really down in size. But I think that's because I had to do more cardio to get in shape because my body wasn't responding the same as it was for the British.
Yeah.
But you don't really know, and you don't really see that until hindsight, until you look back. Right. But Justin did a really good job, and he was there with me every step of the way into the show. Nothing went wrong, just nothing went right. All the things we'd done for the finals just didn't work this time. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, let's remind people you're about 5'8".
On a good day.
On a good day, yeah. I used to be 5'8". You'll get shorter too, don't worry. But that's a massive man, a little under 5'8", 270 pounds.
And I weighed 263 on stage, and I should have been 250 most. So
at that point, I'm sure you were thinking, okay, I'm shutting it down again, but you didn't shut it down. What happened after that?
Okay, well, after that, I was going to, and then, sorry, my dog's trying to hump my arm.
That's okay.
Stop. He just wants to get involved.
Just bring him over. It's fine. We don't discriminate against dogs here.
This is my dog, Chewy.
Oh, what's it named?
His name's Chewy, because he looks like Chewbacca, kind of. We did when he was a puppy.
That's my dog's name, Chewy the Shih Tzu. Okay.
He's Chewy the shit. Sit. So yeah, so then after the Arnold Classic, I thought, I need to redeem myself. I can't let that be my pro debut, and I couldn't let it slide. I was really stubborn, so I decided to do the Vancouver.
Which was how many more weeks away was that?
It was like 20.
Wow.
So I had a few weeks off, and I pushed my body weight back up. I thought, that'll help me sort of get back, and I instead of staying down, I think if I go back up and come back down, that'd be easier. And I went back up just fine. Wouldn't come down. Like, my body was just like not having any of it. I tore my hamstring quite badly about 5-6 weeks out, so I couldn't do my cardio.
How'd you tear your hamstring?
I wasn't anything heavy. I was warming up on a single leg press. Me and my training partner Ben, we were doing just a little circuit of adductors, abductors. Just get everything nice and warm before we did anything heavy, and it just tore.
You're deadlifting 800 pounds like every week, and nothing happens.
Exactly. So that tore. And he actually, 2 weeks out, I actually emailed the promoter and said, I'm not doing the show. And she was like, that's fine. I told her about the hamstring injury. I sent her some pictures of my black leg. Yeah. And then I sort of woke up the next day and thought, what, I'm going to have to go. I've already made the commitment. Granite Supplements are going to be putting a booth there for me to attend, so I can't let anyone down. Yeah. Shouldn't have done the show, but and I let myself down in the point that I didn't look very good. Yeah. But happy that I saw it through to the end, and that's, if I can make it through that prep, I can make it through any prep.
Sure. And that was April or May, I believe. Was that show? Or June? When was it?
In June. I can't even remember. I think it was June.
So what have you been up to since? Have you have time to rest up and recharge and get back, reset everything?
I backed off for a good 3 months. Barely trained. Didn't eat much. Let my body rest. Let my hamstring heal up. Then I had an off season, and with about a few months off season, I actually made some good improvements because I was rested for the first time in a long time, and I stayed in shape relatively. And the plan now, which is not set in stone because I don't know, is to do the Arnold Classic again. I should find out whether I get the official invite next week, I'm told.
Yeah, they better hurry up. It's almost December 15th when we're talking.
So I've been prepping for about 3 weeks. I've dropped my body's been really, really responsive. I'm working with Chris Aceto. He's just somebody I've wanted to work with for a long time. He's Chris Aceto. He's the best. Wanted to try something. He doesn't have any methods. He's just got that experience, which is what I think I need somebody with that experience to help bring me in. Yeah. And I wasn't planning on doing it. at all. I had no. It wasn't even in my. I had no ambitions to do the show at all. I just got an email a few weeks ago saying, "Do you want to be added to the list?" I think they only just sent me like a courtesy email because I did it this year.
Yeah.
So they said, "Do you want us to add you to the list?" And I was like, "Yes." And so they just gave my application in. And it actually so happens that my training partner Ben is competing a week later.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to apply. I'm going to try and go for it again. I've been told that if you've been top 10, you're pretty much a shoo-in for the following year. And I got 8th place. So hopefully I get it again. If I don't, I'll be disappointed, but at least I get to eat on Christmas Day. Yeah. But if I do it again, yeah.
You know, I can't pretend that I know exactly how they decide, but
I don't know either. But I just feel like if I got it, I know last year was a relatively weak lineup in terms of some of the other years.
Yeah.
But I got in for my pro debut.
Well, I think they like to have, and I can't speak for the Arnold Classic Committee. Obviously, I don't know. I know that they send out the lists to various people in the industry and ask their opinions, and I also think they like to have a good balance of, nationalities represented. So
yeah.
They wouldn't want to have 14 guys all from the USA.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only British guy that's applied. I know Nathan Diasher's not doing it. My good friend Sassan Harati, he's not. And there's no other open class guys apart from obviously James Hollingshead, who's just won the British. He's taking a year off, so I'd be the only one from the UK throwing my hat in. And I've already done it, and I think I did. I don't think I let myself down. I think I actually looked okay in terms of everything apart from the condition. So they might be kind enough to offer me a chance to redeem myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you were out of place. It's just you needed to be a little sharp. You need to be sharper. That was it.
And, I've got Chris Acito in my corner. My body's fresh. I'm more motivated than ever because I've done the show. I know what to expect. It was the best experience of my life in terms of bodybuilding. Yeah. I want to have another crack at it. I know I can do. I know I can bring it, and I know I can do really well. If I can bring that slightly sharper than when I won the British. Yeah. All this new muscle I've accrued over the last off season, and obviously everything I haven't lost in last year's prep. Yeah. I think I can. I don't really care where I place as long as everyone's like, yeah, he's nailed it, good.
Yeah,
I would be very happy.
Should be a good show. So yeah. I'm going to get to some of the questions from the forum, like we did last time.
Yes.
So first batch comes from George White, who posts as George UK. Good buddy over there from the UK. There you are. We lost you there for a second. Okay, so you already answered this last time we talked. First comic you got into and your favorite comic now, it's still The Watchmen, right?
Yeah, Watchmen. It's Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. I still think are two of my favorite comic books ever. And actually, my in terms of modern comic books, yeah, my favorite series of all time is Invincible, and that's Robert Kirkman, who writes The Walking Dead.
Yeah, of course.
It's his superhero comic.
Oh, I didn't even know he had that.
They've only got 2 more issues ever. Oh, I've read every single one. I own every single one, and there's only 2 more issues. There's this month's, and then January next year, and then the whole thing is done.
Oh, boy.
It's incredible.
God, if the TV show Walking Dead when that ends forever, I'm going to cry my eyes out, let me tell you.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the new series at all, actually. I'm going to have to catch up.
What's on your gym playlist, he wants to know?
Metal. Any UK metalcore.
So I don't know any of those bands. What are a couple examples of UK metalcore?
The 2 ones I've been listening to at the moment are Architects. They're incredible, and Monuments are another one. They're my 2 sort of go-to bands at the moment. If I listen to music at all, which often I don't, because I have a training partner, and it's rude.
Okay. I'm not asking his last question because it involved cakes and penises. So
of course it did, George.
I've rethought that one. Okay, so Mayor of Bodybuilding, Dan Dillon. He wanted to know about your Arnold Classic experience. We kind of just went over that.
Yeah.
Type of music, next content. How about best friend in bodybuilding? Who is your best friend in bodybuilding?
My training partner, Ben Chow, and probably Jordan Peters as well. I host a podcast called The Size Game with Banji DeMaji, and IFBB Pro just won the British. James Hollingshead, I'd say between those guys, they're my closest friends within bodybuilding, for sure.
Do you read bodybuilding forums?
Honestly, I do read MD, and I still go back and look at Intense Muscle quite a lot because there's still some gems in there. Yeah. So yeah.
You should post on MD, so you know.
I did recently. I did.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I did. No, I did. I think I'm going to. I need to change. Can you change your forum name?
It can be done, yes. And if anyone gives you shit, I will get rid of them. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. I want to take. Well, I want my forum name to just be my name.
What is it now?
I can't remember. It's on my. It just automatically logs in.
Okay.
So I have to find out. I have to let you know. But it's
something like Big Dog or something. No?
Something like something shit. Yeah.
Okay. Next batch of questions comes from Giles Tiger Thomas.
Yes.
So first of all, he wanted to know, how did the Size Game podcast come to be?
It's actually Banji. He's the main host, and it's his brainchild, his like baby.
Yeah.
James was the first host he approached, and then they did a few episodes together. They thought, oh, we need a third guy. James and I have been friends for a few years, and they invited me on, and it's just been snowballing and blowing up ever since.
Is it a weekly thing? How often do you guys put one out?
We do it every 2 weeks, sometimes more often. So if there's something to talk about, we'll do an episode even sooner. So, for like post-Olympia show or show wrap-ups, things like that.
Yeah.
But normally it's fortnightly, every 2 weeks.
Have you had guests on, or is it usually just you three?
We do have guests. We're quite picky with our guests. Well, that's not true. I think we just like to get. We don't do interviews. We just get guys on that we like and we have a chat. We just talk shit with them, and we've had a few really good guests. I think we've got Evan Centopani coming on again.
Oh, wow.
Soon, because he's good friends with James.
Yeah.
We're all huge fans of Evan. He's always great to talk to. We've had obviously Giles. He's been on a few times.
Okay.
Had Curry on twice. Just had Josh Wade on recently.
So Giles is coming on again soon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like our stand-in host. So if one of us are ill, he stands in for us.
Okay.
So, yeah, Giles is great. So he's a good lad to have on.
Evan was stuck in London for like a week one time because some volcano, I think it was in Iceland,
wasn't it?
It shut down all the flights in Europe for like a week.
Yeah.
And he trained at Muscle Works. He said, "This place is awesome. This is where I assume he means the original Muscle Works."
Yeah, the one in Bethnal Green in London. Yeah.
So that's the only gym around the world he's ever been to that he would like to train at on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Although, of course, we didn't know about Oxygen Gym then. But,
you know what? I don't like the look of Oxygen.
Really? Looks like a night because it looks like a nightclub.
Yeah, it annoys me. I don't know why. I look at it. It's like I quite like a gym to. There's this weird conception. Like people think, hardcore bodybuilding gyms, spit and sawdust. I don't want any spit or sawdust, thanks. And I want the machines to work, but I don't like it when it looks like too clean and pristine.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I hate that.
It doesn't. It needs to be a gym.
Right.
I'm sure Oxygen is incredible. I've never been there. I don't know what the atmosphere is like. But when I see it in videos, I'm like, nah.
It looks very, very clean.
Yeah, you see like where Evan trains and what the New Haven
Super Gym. It's called the Powerhouse Montanari Brothers Powerhouse
Yeah,
Gym.
that is a proper gym.
Yeah.
And Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym. That's another one. Those. I mean, because I've never liked the idea of training at the Gold's, either the main one. I don't know where it is. Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I'd want to train there. It'd be cool to go, but to train there, it doesn't have the. It looks too busy and too. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I lived out there and I trained there in the '90s, and early '90s was you would have loved it then. You would.
You
wouldn't like it now. It's not the same place. Did you ever train at Temple Gym in Birmingham?
I did train there, but I did go there, and that was just cool. You just walked down there, and you immediately felt stronger.
Yes, but it was filthy. The bathroom was
it just stank. It just stank of piss, didn't it? You walk down there.
I was afraid to put my clothes down. It was just very, very mildewy and stuff. What else did Giles want to know? Your favorite movie Batman and your least favorite movie Batman?
Least favorite will go George Clooney.
Yeah, agreed.
Why was he ever Batman?
He sucked.
Yeah. And I actually think my favorite Batman, not necessarily because of the films he's been in, but I really like Ben Affleck's portrayal.
Okay.
He's just brutal, isn't he? I think Christian Bale's the best. He's in obviously the best movies, and he's the best Bruce Wayne. But his Batman, I don't know. If you had to fight, if you had to get in a fight or you had to get somebody to defend your city, would you want Ben Affleck or Christian Bale?
Well, Christian Bale annoyed me with that fake voice all the time.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, come on, dude. Still better than Adam West. So
can you imagine Adam West? I wish he was still alive. He should have done a comeback.
That was my exposure to Bat. When I was a kid, I used to watch that show, and
I did as well. Yeah,
even as a little kid, I said, "Why is he chubby? Why does Batman have like a little belly?"
I loved his little white eyebrows as well. This is why I think I like The Dark Knight Returns so much, because I thought Batman just hung out of helicopters with a shark hanging off his leg. And that's what I thought Batman was until I read The Dark Knight Returns.
That happened in the Batman movie with Adam West. Actually.
Yeah.
Once a shark at the helicopter.
Yeah, the shark repellent spray in his belt.
So you got a question from Life Pulse, David Johnson, who is also a drummer.
Yes.
He wanted to know if your drumming, the mechanics of drumming have changed for you since you're, 100 pounds heavier now than you were back in the professional drumming days.
Not massively. I think it's I get quite tight calves and forearms, and my hands get quite numb.
Yeah.
If I play quickly, but I've always played quite I'm quite wristy, So, no, I mean, Dave can probably answer this himself because he's a drummer himself. He's absolutely huge. So,
yeah.
I mean, no, not massively. I mean, I still own a drum set. I don't really play as much as I'd like. But no,
I'm sure your neighbors appreciate that. Nobody wants a drummer for a neighbor. Nobody. What was my next question? So we have I ask everyone about this because this is big news this year. The IFBB split Pro League and the Elite thing. So now you're going to have a lot more opportunities. British bodybuilders for years, it was very, very difficult to turn pro. One guy a year would turn pro, and maybe not even, because like Ricardo Correa told me the story earlier this year about took him 3 years. He won the overall British, but then he had to wait, and then he had to fly his ass down to Spain and go into the office of Rafael Sandoe and personally pose for him. Then Rafael goes, okay, you can be a pro. But so now you're going to have pro qualifiers in UK. I don't know how many you're going to have in 2018, but definitely more than one because
I think so far
was putting on one in March, I believe, or April.
Yeah, there's 3 I think have been confirmed on the list. Then maybe a 4th.
Yeah.
But I think this is a huge opportunity for bodybuilding. I think a lot of people are getting confused. They think the Two Bros Pro events are a federation, or they are the NPC, but they're not. Right. They are just an IFBB Pro League event. They're not a federation. Anyone from any federation, like NABA, the PCA, they can all come in. They can compete with one federation one weekend, the following weekend have a go at their pro card. And it's open to everyone in the world, not just everyone from the UK. So in terms of bodybuilding, it gives the amateurs a lot more freedom. It's there are more opportunities to get your pro card, and there's no problems between the federations. I mean, the UK BFF, I think, they're still attached to the IFBB Amateur, and I think they are shooting themselves in the foot a little bit because they're not letting you compete anywhere else. So
does that mean if you win the British now, you're not an IFBB Pro League pro, you're a Elite Pro? Yeah,
the Elite Pro, which is basically shit. Yeah. But which is, I mean, no offense to them, it's not the same.
Right. You can't be in the Arnold, you can't be in the Olympia, you can't do the New York Pro.
Yeah, to me, the IFBB Pro League is the Super Bowl. It is, every sport pretty much has their main professional league. Every sport. So, soccer, FIFA, the NFL, the NBA. They're the main. Everyone wants to play for them. So it's a very strange one because I think they're shooting. There's no incentive to compete with that federation anymore because there's no pro card, right. And the other federations are offering prize money, and the other federations are also saying you can go and compete for the Two Bros Pro events for your pro card, and you're always welcome back here. Whereas UKBF are like, nope, you can't. You have to stay with us, which is strange because I think if you pay your membership, you should be allowed to go wherever you want.
Yeah. I mean, you've always had UK has always had both the UK BFF and NABA, which is predates all of this really. So I mean, it's nothing. This isn't such a weird thing for you guys as it is for when this federation split happened. People were losing their minds over here, but you guys have had multiple federations for many years over in UK and Europe, so this isn't that shocking to you, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, in the US, isn't it exactly the same? It doesn't affect the US. The NPC is still the NPC.
Nothing changes here at all.
Everyone, I've heard so many people in the US freaking out. I'm like, dude, it's the same.
Yeah, I don't know why they're worried. And actually, there's more opportunities because now I think we can go. NPC competitors can go to any of these.
Yeah, you can come. You can come to us.
We go to you. There's a bunch of them happening in South America, Central America, all over the place, and anybody from US is welcome to go to those if they really want to.
Yeah, I can't think of a single reason why this isn't anything but good for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, yeah, but they're going to give out too many pro cards. It's like, well, they are, but let's take NBA, for example. Let's say there's I don't know, 500 extra professional basketball players. Only the good ones are still going to play for the teams.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how many pros there are. The good ones are still going to be on the Olympic stage. You're not going to see the people winning pro shows getting watered down. You're not going to see the Olympia get watered down. Still the best of the best are going to be at the Arnold Classic. It's not going to change.
Yeah, I mean,
it just means more opportunities for everyone.
I used to cry. I stopped crying. We were giving out we still give out a lot of pro cards for the women here. Yeah. Bikini, figure, women's physique, all these things, and I came to realization after going to so many shows that the best people are still going to rise to the top, and even if you turn pro, doesn't mean you're going to, unless you have the goods, you're not going to go anywhere.
I also don't understand why all these bodybuilders they give out so many pro cards for bikini. Who fucking cares?
It doesn't really affect your life in any way at the end of the day.
Stay in your own lane. It's just bikini. Don't worry about it. Unless you want to put on a bikini, don't worry.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Luke, last question for you. Two-part question. This is a good closing question for everybody. What do you love the most about bodybuilding, and what do you like the least, or what would you change if you could about bodybuilding? Not just the sport. It could be the lifestyle, anything at all. What you like and what you don't like.
I love bodybuilding. I love the training. I love the discipline. For me now this is basically my job. This is what I do. Yeah. I have to make more sacrifices with my life. Whether that means in crucial parts of a contract, seeing my children less, or having to stay at home more and not going to family events. That's a problem, but this is my choice, so it's not really a problem, that's a choice. I also think social media, to a certain extent, can be excellent, or it can be pretty bad, because a lot of sort of contracts these days are going to your sort of physique guys and your fitness models and your Insta celebrities, rather than the bodybuilders. And I think the main reason for this is most bodybuilders are boring people. They are. I mean, most bodybuilders, they're all lovely. I mean, I haven't met a pro that I thought was a dick. Everyone's been really cool. Yeah. But you need a personality. But that aside, in terms of the physical aspect of social media, it's forcing the ones that are doing well, and the ones that have to sort of capitalize on social media, they have to, maintain a certain look and a certain training intensity and a certain strength all year round. Yeah. There's none, to be able to have worth to your companies that you're picked up with, to be valuable, you need to be pretty much on it year round.
Camera ready. So basically, let's be blunt. You have to be on stuff at least a moderate amount all the damn time if you want to look good all the time.
So you either have to be able to wear a baggy t-shirt and lift stupidly heavy or you have to be in shape. You can't be fat and weak in the office and sell products. Which is a problem that I think in the 90s didn't exist, because you'd get paid a contract by a supplement sponsor. They would do a ton of photo shoots around the show, and that'd be it. They'd just use that year round. They would just milk it.
And the rest of the year, you could stay home, play video games, smoke weed, chill out. Yeah,
that's awesome. But there are a number of pros these days that I think are doing it so well. In terms of social media, one that really I always think is doing it really well is Dusty Hanshaw. I mean, he's another DC guy. And his social media is effortless. He's not the best pro. No. He wasn't the best amateur. He doesn't place well. He doesn't really care. But he gets paid. It's his job. And he's a professional. He's entertaining. He always puts out content. But I can guarantee you he's not on all year round. He's not pushing his body all year round. Yeah. But he sort of integrates that into his social media, which is why he's so popular. And there are a few guys doing this. He's just very, very clever. He's never forcing discount codes or trying to sell things. And I think that's the thing. And again, going back to most bodybuilders are boring, Dusty has a great personality.
Right.
Just people like him, I think, that's the great side. And there's other bodybuilders that are like, yeah, but I'm huge. You need to pay me.
Right. I know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm very, very fortunate. I mean, I'm signed with Granite Supplements and I'm Rebel Clothing, and they've never pushed me to do anything that I'm not comfortable with. They've never pushed me to do anything. They just said, we want to sign you, do what you're doing, carry on being you. And I'm incredibly grateful for that, because I just do what I've been doing for free. So,
cool. So let's get you some more followers. This is Connect. They can show on the camera. Luke Sandoe on Instagram.
There he is.
Posting away, looking great.
See, my 2018 Pro cards there. See that?
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is.
It came in the post yesterday.
Is it laminated or no?
No. One of my Batman statues has it in his hand. I'm going to leave it there.
I believe our own Christian Duque has a Pro card. I'm not sure how that works. I need to get mine then. So
come and do the Two Bros Pro show.
Nah, I would have to find maybe. I've been thinking about like Nigeria, Somalia, something like that.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to see some like the Congo Classic, where you can get a Pro card.
I got to think of where they're really malnourished and they would really suck bad.
Yeah, but they'd be shredded.
Ethiopia, yeah. Well, I mean, there would be no heavyweights, no super heavies. So
yeah,
right there.
That's true.
Win by default. Cool, man. Luke, I thank you so much because, like I said earlier, this is the second time he's done this interview because, you know, God hates me with regards to technology, and I'm a dumbass with technology.
I wonder if we'll end up third because this one fucks up too.
Yeah, this one can't. No, this one looks like everything's cool, everything's fine. So thank you for your time, and we're going to find out very, very soon. The Arnold list should be up by next weekend, I would imagine.
Yeah, so anyone who's watching, thank you for watching, but also keep your fingers crossed and your toes for me, please. Yes.
I want to see a shredded 265-pound Luke Sandoe.
Why?
Stomping, stomping on stage and challenging Dennis Wolf. Yes. Should be a good show. So thank you very much for the Ron Line Report. It's been Ron Harris with the UK's own Luke Sandoe.
Thank you.